And we're live. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us. It's such a momentous occasion and great to have the whole team here. And I can see the Korean army has turned out in force in the YouTube chat here. It's full of Hangul. So, 안녕하세요 to all of our Korean friends joining us and everyone else around the world. We're just waiting for Rob to jump into the chat here on Zoom as well. But while we're waiting for him, just a couple of housekeeping. We will have some quizzes after some of these interviews that we're going to play, and we've got over $1,000 worth of Zen and swag to give away. So you have to be paying attention and taking notes during the interviews because there will be little quizzes at the end. There won't be a quiz after every interview. We've got about, I think, 5 quizzes scattered throughout, so you don't know which one the quiz will come after, so you've got to pay attention to all of them. And we'll have a link which Erica will share at the conclusion of the interviews, and it'll be a Survey Monkey link, so you can go there, fill out the quiz, and everyone who gets the answers correct will get a share of some Zen, and the first people to answer correctly for each quiz will also win a $100 gift card for the Horizen swag store. And we might begin with a interview that I pre-recorded with Alex Mashinsky from Celsius Network. So we'll play that and then we'll have a chat with everyone after this interview. Hello, Alex. Thanks so much for your time and joining us for this special event. It's really great to have you on.
Thanks for having me.
And I did an interview with you last December. So that was really great. And if anyone hasn't seen that, be sure to check out the Horizen Clips YouTube channel and you can catch up on the last conversation we had. And we're touching base again now because it's a super important milestone in the Horizen life with Zendoo launching on December 1st. So yeah, just love to have a little bit of a chat to see what's happening recently with Celsius and how the partnership is going with Horizen and what we can expect to see in the future. So I'm going to start off this interview just by recapping a little bit of history and asking the question of how did you actually learn about Horizen and why did you choose to work with them?
Yeah, so we've been actually following, Horizen and the Zen coin for quite some time. Obviously, it's been one of the kind of pioneer in the space. A lot of, I think, unique developments on that chain. Also, a lot of different implementations of side chains and different technologies. So. And for us, the main issue was really that we already support 16 different blockchains. So for us to be able to provide what we call proof of community, or the ability to prove to Celsius users that using zero proof for them to see that we both earn the yield and we distribute it as promised. We needed somebody who could basically encapsulate transactions from Bitcoin and Ethereum and other sources. And we didn't have any other technology that could do that. So what we've implemented with Horizen is, I think, the first worldwide where you can use zero knowledge proofs from a variety of different blockchains to deliver this continuous real-time information and access, both to our community as well as people who just want to look at what we do, right? Everybody has access to that data. So we're super excited about this whole function, proof of community, and with our partnership with Horizen.
Excellent. It's super exciting. So essentially this is a ZK Audit sidechain that they're launching, and in essence it kind of gets rid of the need for the big four auditors that companies generally use previously around the world to run their auditing and all of that. I just want to ask you, how much of a cost saving does ZK Audit bring to companies if they were to use a side chain like ZK Audit?
So for us, the focus was not about the savings. It was more about the real-time nature of it. So if you think about traditional financial services, when it was funny because like back in 2008, just a few months before Lehman Brothers filed for bankruptcy, their auditors have published that they're in great health, right? So I think in April, the reports were published that the previous year, everything was fine. And by July, they were bankrupt, right?
Yeah.
So having audits that are done 6 months after the year is over is so last year, is so over that how about real-time audits, right?
Yeah.
How about something that is continuous in real time, up to the last transaction, block by block? So really the main benefit is that, for example, for people who trust Celsius with their digital assets, they want to know exposures and earnings and total assets in real time. Otherwise, what's the point of doing all of that? So, so again, for us, it was less about, okay, we're going to replace this real-time audit versus some big four auditing firm, and more about let's give our community something that no one has ever had, which is this real-time audit, so they know in real time if there is any issues, if there are any issues, what are the numbers, and they have visibility into where their assets are.
Great. So yeah, so I guess the big game changer here is just the transparency that everyone can see in real time, as opposed to the cost saving this technology can bring companies. And perhaps the cost saving is just an added benefit, but the main focus is transparency.
That's right. And that's why we call it proof of community, right? We're proving to the community that what is being promised to them is being delivered. And again, that's it's not based on our blockchain or us giving them some centralized report, right? It's they can audit all these functions that are happening on Bitcoin, on the Bitcoin blockchain or some other blockchain, with effectively we call it a rewards explorer. It's just basically a browser that knows how to read all that data, but you can look into the code, you can see all the data and verify everything for yourself.
Yeah, excellent. So yeah, it certainly sounds a revolutionary and disruptive technology. And I just wonder if I can grab your thoughts about how disruptive this technology actually is, and can you see other companies adopting this in the near term?
Yeah, so most companies are what we call toll collectors, meaning they charge you fees for a variety of things, and they really don't want to be transparent, right? It's not in their best interest to become fully transparent, because then you will see all the places where they charge you fees. So really what we're trying to encourage are a new breed of companies similar to Celsius that are basically not relying on fees for income. Like at Celsius, we have to generate yield, and only by creating additional yield or incremental yield for the customer, we can keep a portion of that and give most of it to our customers. So we're not earning anything from yield. We have 1.5 million customers. We have never charged the customer a fee.
Yeah.
So what we do for transparency and other purposes really works for companies that are structured this way. It doesn't work very well for companies who have all kind of hidden fees, and they're trying to make sure no one finds out about them.
Yeah, so I don't think we could expect the banks to be taking on this technology anytime soon. They want to keep all that bit private for themselves at the moment, not let the word out how much they're actually taking advantage of their customers.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so with the Zendoo launching, there's nothing else quite like this in the space at the moment. And what impact do you think this will have on the cryptocurrency space as a whole?
So I think, again, today you have pure DeFi, or DeFi, which runs on like basically smart contracts, and you have CeFi, which is more like Celsius, right? The centralized finance. So we have one leg in DeFi and one leg in CeFi, right? So because we are one of the largest participants in DeFi, but also one of the largest institutional exchange lenders. And here, this data that we're talking about crosses across all of these domains. So you can both demonstrate the activity on the DeFi side as well as on the CeFi side. So bridging those two worlds is really, in our view, the future, right? I don't think that DeFi, pure DeFi, can basically convince all of the TradFi or traditional finance people or money to cross over. So you're going to need to have almost like it's like we used to, if you remember the old flights where you used to have a stopover. You're going to have to, if you're coming from TradFi, you're going to have to do a stopover in CeFi, and then you can go from CeFi into DeFi.
Yeah.
You know, you can't fly direct, no direct flights from
Yeah.
TradFi to DeFi.
Yeah.
And that's really, it's a funny analogy, but that's what we are. There's many reasons for it. KYC, AML, again, lack of transparency, the fact that these things talk to completely different languages, and the need for basically the ability to do audits and do a lot of other things that, again, DeFi does not support. So we build bridges between all these different kingdoms, between all these different domains. And like I said before, Celsius has more coins on more blockchains than anybody else. We manage close to 30 billion in assets. So we are also the largest, we have more assets from more customers than anybody else. And, obviously we won the trust of 1.5 million people. We paid out over $1 billion in yield, right? So that's an order of magnitude bigger than anybody else.
100%. Yeah. And moving on, I'd like to just discuss about privacy and finance and how important is privacy. It seems like a crazy question, but in cryptocurrency today, privacy is actually quite rare. So I'm wondering, what are your thoughts on that? And do you think all cryptocurrencies should have the ability for private transactions?
Yeah, so there's a lot of debate around this issue. I think on one side, obviously, a lot of the OGs and the cypherpunks will tell you everything should be private. But I think governments and different institutions, are all demanding full access and demanding both for tax reasons and other reasons. And frankly, we don't know where all of this is going to land. I think many governments are trying to outlaw the blockchains that are trying to be completely anonymous. And at the same time, there's a lot of people who still think that doing a transaction on Bitcoin or Ethereum is somehow safe from third parties, right? I mean, we've been shown again and again that governments and other entities can very easily find out who are the owners of different wallets, and basically now you have a permanent record that ties you forever and shows everybody all your transactions. So we have to find the balance. I think we all believe in privacy, and we're tilting more and more into this world where none of your transactions are private. And you have people like Facebook/Meta who are chasing, they want to own all that data about all your transactions. That's why they're trying to get in to right? They're trying to launch Libra/Meta, or whatever they call it. And because the last domain that they have not yet conquered is all of your financial information.
And moving on also, what are some other things you would like to see being built on Horizen?
So obviously, again, the chain already has many projects on it, but I think you're seeing this explosion. I call it the Cambrian explosion of innovation happening on, again, Ethereum and Solana and Cardano and so on. And I think there's definitely an opportunity here to create more, more new development. Like, for example, like stuff we partner with you guys on zero knowledge proofs and other things. And I don't think that one blockchain is going to own this or that domain. Doesn't matter if it's NFTs or if it's DeFi or if it's something else. So it really has to do with innovation. I think whoever innovates the most or creates the best services for the customers is going to drive adoption and drive the movement of asset, because money never sleeps and it goes to the places where it is treated best. And we've seen that with DeFi and Ethereum, and we've seen how quickly some of that DeFi moved somewhere else, and is being, for example, a lot of it is being done right now on Polygon or on other chains, and just as easily it could come to Horizen, right? So it's all a question of, can we launch some of these projects on Horizen, and Celsius as an example, we're agnostic. We don't pick winners and losers. So we could easily provide liquidity, the same liquidity we provide today on DeFi, and we have several $1 billion on basically traditional DeFi. We could deploy that on Horizen if some of the projects we're launching here. So I think it's really all about where the developers and where the talent resides, and are they building long-term ideas for the community, or are they trying to enrich themselves? Are they trying to be inclusive, bring in billions of people into this revolution, or they're trying to just fork somebody else's work and flip it and move on to the next thing? So Celsius has a track record of, again, innovating and partnering with different chains to really, again, build new worlds and develop new ideas, to partner with people who are thinking about developing on the Horizen chain.
And talking about developing on Horizen chain, is there anyone in particular you'd like to see Horizen partner with next?
So I think we kind of know what are the winning strategies. You have like the equivalent to Uniswap. You have other things like Maker, like synthetic stable coins. You have so the use cases, again, you have just smart contracts, right? The variety of different smart contract and use cases for that. So I think there's definitely, as we kind of define better and better what the use cases are, I think we can differentiate based on, okay, this chain is faster or more safe, or it already has certain utilities that are not available in other places, or it already has a broader adoption in different markets where the needs might be higher for this or that service. And really, it's about pairing these things together, and then again, galvanizing the community around it, right? Getting the community to use and adopt these services. So, so I think, again, we're very early on. Anyone who thinks that the game has been decided, or, okay, whatever, Ethereum or some other chain has won it all, doesn't know anything about crypto.
Yeah. And talking about how early we are right now in crypto, I wonder if we can jump forward perhaps 5 years from now, and just I want to ask you what you envision for the industry to be like in 5 years, and what does that future world look like to you?
So I think that in a few years, I still think Bitcoin will be kind of the main store of value, but I think a lot of the innovation will actually be split between many different chains, and you will see more and more chains specialize in a variety of services. For example, insurance may reside on one chain, or mortgages may reside on another chain. Smart contract for DeFi may kind of be specialty of one or another chain, and so on. So the communities are just being created right now, and we're seeing like mass migrations of people that are moving, for example, from Ethereum to Solana, because they're kind of specializing in something that can run better, faster, cheaper on Solana versus some other use cases migrating, like I said, to Polygon or somewhere else. So really, this is not about, and I've said this many times, but I think people are have not paid attention to it. It's not about winning NFTs and DeFi from Ethereum. It's about creating new, different use cases which define your blockchain, which allow your blockchain to thrive and create a new community around it. So, so again, it's building a new city instead of trying to go and steal residents or riches from somebody else's castle.
Yeah, great answer. And I also want to ask you about Celsius X, and will Horizen ZK Audit sidechain play a role in that? And can you tell us a bit about what actually Celsius X is?
Yeah, so Celsius X is a new project that we launched. The website is celsiusx.io, and it enables us to wrap assets and launch them very quickly on different chains. So for example, we are adding Horizen. We're working on that, and we'll be adding it to the Celsius wallet, and we will be able to create wrapped assets on top. So for example, wrapped Bitcoin or wrapped Ethereum or wrapped any of the 46 assets that we have currently in the Celsius wallet. And then developers or other participants can effectively create use cases for those wrapped assets. So today, most of the wrapping is happening on EVMs or Ethereum compatible virtual machines. But we're seeing a world in which, again, this liquidity that we have, again, that $30 billion worth of liquidity can be easily moved across all chains, not just the EVM chains. And this is the type of stuff that we want to collaborate on. So we want to build roads and bridges between these castles, right? Again, we don't want people raiding each other's castles like SushiSwap raiding Uniswap, right? Yeah. And so we don't believe in that. We believe that people should be building multiple castles, and Celsius will be paving roads and bridges between those castles, providing the liquidity.
Excellent. And just in closing, I want to, many people in the Horizen community, they keep asking, when is Zen going to be listed in the Celsius network wallet? When can we start earning yield with your platform?
So the good news is that we've been waiting for Fireblocks to add it, and it just never happened. So we went ahead and purchased a custodian, GK8, and now we can basically control better our destiny as far as adding different assets. So I'm happy to say that Zen will be one of the first to be added. We do need to do some integration, so it's still going to be a few months, but we hope to add Zen early next year. So, so definitely we kind of found a solution to the bottleneck.
Excellent. That's really, really great news to hear. So yeah, nearly at the finish line for that integration. And
yeah, then people will be able to take a loan against it, or again, wrap it. You'll be able to wrap Zen on to launch it on Ethereum or launch it on some other chain as well. Everything works both ways.
Yeah.
So it would be great to see pairs of Zen/ETH or Zen/Cell token or Zen/anything on some of these DeFi platforms, and it's definitely going to add utility to the Horizen chain.
Excellent. And at the moment for Zen holders, is there any possible way for them to take out a loan, perhaps via your OTC desk, using Zen as their collateral at the moment?
Yeah, so because it's not supported in a wallet, we only support large transactions. So I would say loans of more than $100,000.
Yeah.
And if you're interested in taking a loan against your Zen token, please email us at otc@celsius.network, and the desk will help you process the transaction.
Excellent. Great. Well, thanks very much for your time, Alex. And I think we'll leave it there, but certainly looking forward to seeing the growth between Horizen and Celsius as we move down the line.
Sure. Thanks for having me again.
Great. Thanks, Alex. And we're back again. I hope you're all paying attention because we have a quiz to complete after that interview. And we've got over $1,000 worth of Zen and Horizen swag to give away during this live stream. So that's what the quizzes are going to be for. And Erica is going to share a link to the quiz in the chat. So have your Zen wallet addresses ready because you'll need them when you submit the form to answer the quiz. And while Erica is doing that, I'll just introduce Rosario to have a talk to everyone. Welcome, Rosario.
Thank you, Michael, and thank you for hosting this amazing Zendoo launch party. I'd like to say hello to all of our community around the world. And we have, I see on YouTube, a huge Korean army that is just so excited about Zendoo. So thank you all. Oh, shout out to Lawrence. Thank you all for being here today. I'd like to introduce some of the team members behind Zendoo and just in general. So I'll remind everyone why Zendoo is so important, and maybe Alberto can also provide some words about the importance of Zendoo. So Zendoo opens up Zen as a platform. So now we can launch side chains. We could do any type of use case that we can. It's a very powerful tool. It's fully decentralized, and it really shifts us from being a cryptocurrency to a platform. A few years ago, when we started this, the inception of the concept that Alberto had of okay, why are we doing all this on the main chain? We don't need to do that. So that was the inception of Zendoo, and it's taken us 3 years to get there. And let's meet some of the individuals behind Zendoo. And it's not all inclusive, but we have, of course, Alberto, who has been leading the effort, the concept, and just building the team behind Zendoo. Hopefully I don't miss everyone because I'm looking at the screen. We have Daniele, who's been a key contributor, Paolo Capelletti, Marco, and Paolo Galli, who's just recently joined our team. Paolo Tagliaferri, who's a key contributor on the Zendoo side, so the C++ code base. And we have Daniele Di Tullio, a cryptographer, Luigi and Chronic, very key on the DevOps, the support, the testing. And we have Anna Julia from the project management side. And Luca was here. I'm not sure if he's hiding, but hey, Luca. Hiding yeah, so Luca and Anna Julia are really the glue that keep things together in the midst of the madness. So just a very key with that. Other team members that also contribute in different ways. We have Lucy from our marketing team, Marco with a K, who does our videography, and Lindsay is also key with our graphics and designs and things of that nature. We have Vano with BD and many other things. Toju with marketing. Al Sala, thank you for joining us. So Alberto Sala is a key, actually I missed him, but he was he's one of the key team members that contributed to the C++ code base. And he's secretly trying to kill the other Alberto because just so complex. Actually, it's been such a great building this team. So thank you for joining us, Alberto Sala. So as you can tell, we hire Albertos and we hire Paulos. That's a joke, but yeah. So this is some of our team members, and Rob is here. Hey, Rob.
Hey there. Happy to be here, guys. Thank you for hosting such an awesome party, and thank you to the community for joining. It's speaking of the Korean community, I've seen someone get a Horizen tattoo from Korea online. That was pretty amazing. Now that's real dedication there. So yeah, I think it would be awesome, Alberto, if you wanted to come on and we can talk a little bit about the history of Zendoo and the challenges, the opportunities, the fun moments, the times we were crying along the way to make this a reality. Please.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we can start from even the very beginning. What do you think, Rob? From Lisbon?
Oh, Lisbon. Yes, sure. Let's do it.
Okay.
Wow. That was what, 2018? I think we were in Lisbon together. Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah, it was, I mean, everything almost started there. I mean, for sure, we met the first time in person there, and you remember we started discussing. I remember this little whiteboard in this room where we were, let me say, looking at let me say how the blockchain, how the cryptocurrencies was working, and how we could use the concept of blockchain to go beyond the cryptocurrency use case. And I mean, I was quite new to the cryptocurrency world, and so
you were crazy to join.
No, why? I mean,
you left a great job to come join a crazy industry, Alberto. I don't know what was going through your mind.
I mean, otherwise I get bored. So I need new challenges.
We're glad Alberto is a crazy person.
Yeah, and you'll never be bored with Horizen. That's the good part.
Yeah, and let's say, I mean, we started looking together at possible ways for going beyond the cryptocurrency use case, and it was quite clear from the very beginning that one of the options was to have these parallel blockchains, no? And I mean, this was just the seed of the idea, and after a while, we realized that these parallel blockchains were named somehow sidechains, and then we learned what were, let me say, the issues for having real parallel blockchains that were not a cryptocurrency itself, but decentralized. Because the main point there was to have blockchain applications for a specific domain, not creating a new coin, not to have to create a new coin, but being totally decentralized. And so this was the challenge. Everything started in that room in Lisbon, and I mean, it took a while. Just a while. I didn't expect that specific afternoon.
Well, let's just say we didn't have much of a team at the time. We had an incredible community from the start, and the thing is, this has been a community-driven project, and it has evolved so much since then. But really, then we had big ideas, and we were so naive. We didn't know what we were doing because the entire industry was so new, and we realized there were some issues with scaling this technology into mainstream use cases beyond just cryptocurrency. And this was our approach of I think the right one, actually. And all of these years later, I feel a little vindicated that it worked out the way it has. Although we still have a lot of work ahead of us.
Absolutely, and the curious thing is that one of the other projects that we were doing was the Treasury project, and that was another sign, because when we started looking at the model, also in collaboration with IHK, with Professor Roman Olinikov and Mitro Kaidalov, we were looking at the Treasury model, but then became quite clear that introducing such kind of complexity inside the core was the wrong approach. So we started having these multiple information that were going in the same direction to say, okay, we need a way, that goes beyond the Treasury use case to be able to bootstrap and to create parallel blockchains that are able to use Zen. And so in this way, we will be able to have an ecosystem of decentralized applications that are available a Zen token that has a value, and so you're not obliged every time to launch a new token. Mm-hmm. And so even the treasury was one of the things that pushed us to go on and to try to figure out a way for having a decentralized way to build this kind of protocol for parallel blockchains.
Right. And speaking of the treasury, this was really something that we were very adamant about for open governance. So this is supposed to be a global community project, and we have to decentralize it. So we took an approach very deliberately after we realized the kind of complexity we would have to build into the main chain. Okay, we're going to build this protocol so we can have multiple chains operating, so you can actually push that type of complexity out away from the core. Now we're there. So now it's incredible that we've finally delivered this piece of technology, and now we can really circle back to some of these big, ambitious projects that we had from the very beginning. So I find that, very, very exciting.
Yeah, and we faced a lot of challenges in the path, because we started with a model, because the issue is how to transfer these tokens to another blockchain in a decentralized way. So there are, let me say, challenges that you have to face to do that. Now, so the model has to be able to scale. So the main blockchain, the cryptocurrency blockchain, doesn't know the rules of the other chains, but at the same time, being able to understand if the transfers are legitimate from the perspective of the parallel chain. No? So this is a quite complex problem, and was unsolved at the time. And so we had a first iteration with a model, and then a second one more sophisticated that makes use of snarks that at the end, and zero knowledge, that at the time wasn't a technology so much mentioned and famous. And so we had how to say, we've been a little bit crazy,
and I will say a little lucky to actually get the team that we do. The team that we have, everyone from Dr. Roman Olinikov and his team from IOHK to Ulrich on in our team, to Daniele, to the guys that write the circuits, to the crypto team that we have in house, to actually be able to challenge the curves that we use in these things and think about efficiency. It's incredible. There's no way we could have predicted that we would be able to pull this off, say, 4 years ago, because we just didn't know what we didn't know at the time. And I would say 5 years from now, this project itself will be much more sophisticated and be doing things that would be hard to predict today.
Yeah, exactly. And you mentioned the team members, Daniela and Ulrich, and also, for them had been a big challenge, to let me say, first, understand, deep dive on this kind of new technology and even improve it, because we are even improving it. We even created let me say, an efficient version of Marlin to have recursive proof composition made in an efficient way. So we went, let me say, much further than we were thinking at the very beginning. At the very beginning, we were just supposed to use this kind of technology, but then later we understood that what we had was not enough, and we needed to go even further. So it has been a real challenge for all the team members that started working with us from the very beginning. So and now they are collaborating all together, and we've been able to have the Zendoo delivery on Mainnet, and this is huge. Huh?
It's absolutely huge. I remember when we had an office, a little tiny office space in like a basement with like you and Maurizio. And I remember those days. And the
reality is that
the dog that kept barking.
Yeah, but this was the second office.
True.
The first one didn't exist.
True. And now we have just this amazing team, and we've just launched a team in New York as well. We're building out a team, with Alexander in Ukraine. It's just, I'm humbled by the people that have joined the project and where we are today.
Me too. Exactly.
Yeah, hats off to a job well done over the years, and such a momentous point in Horizen's history. And looking at the chat, we've got so many Koreans here. I've actually got a few special messages from the Korean community I'm going to play and share with everyone here. So this is our Korean army in action.
첫 번째 게임은 설탕 뽑기입니다. 선택하신 모양은 여러분이 뽑아야 할 모양입니다.
호라이즌 화이팅! 젠두 런칭 축하드립니다.
Congratulations on launching Zendoo. Horizen 가스! One BTC, one Gen. Zendoo 화이팅!
Hello, we are Gen Army. We are going with Gen. Zendoo fighting! Fighting! Fighting!
I'm happy to be with you today for launching Zendoo. Here in South Korea, we are going with Zendoo fighting!
젠두 런칭을 진심으로 축하드립니다. 연말 가상자산 시장의 게임 체인저가 되기를 기대하겠습니다.
저는 미래에서 왔고요. 거기는 지금 호라이즌은 시총 10위입니다. 그 스타트를 끄는 젠두 런칭을 축하합니다.
호라이즌 젠두 메인넷 런칭을 진심으로 축하드립니다. 고생 많으셨습니다.
호라이즌 젠두 런칭 진심으로 축하드립니다. 화이팅!
호라이즌의 젠두 런칭을 진심으로 축하합니다. 젠두 가자! 젠두 파이팅!
3년의 결실 호라이즌 화이팅!
Congratulations, 젠두! 이러다 다 살아.
Hello, I'm Jong-hoon from South Korea and representative of Korea at Horizen. Horizen Korean community members are very excited about the future that Zendoo will bring to the blockchain industry. I remember the day Rob made a presentation about sidechains at the ETC Summit in Korea in 2018. And the result of the hard work of the team from that time to today, Zendoo is now officially launched on our mainnet, and I am looking forward to seeing many projects join us. Bitcoin, which came out as a system called transparent and decentralized ledger, opened the first generation blockchain industry. In addition, it showed the application method of blockchain which is developed but unused at that time. And Ethereum, which lead the second generation of blockchain industry, has made it easier for anyone to create their own blockchain projects throughout the platform. But the transaction fee of Ethereum is very expensive now, and it has a development environment that is not free to customize and has many restrictions. And recently, there was an incident where the mainnet of a Korean project, which was used by many Korean projects, the network was just stopped for 2 days. They had 30 nodes, and there is so much to say about this part, but let's move on. I think Zendoo is different with others. Horizen has the largest number of nodes in the industry, and accordingly provide a very robust and decentralized ecosystem. Unlike the DApp ecosystem as before, each sidechain can manage its own blockchain data by itself, and it is a sidechain or the relies on the mainnet. The sidechain's own data does not need to be involved in the mainnet through the zero knowledge proof. It means that you can freely configure an independent ecosystem that is not bound by the mainnet. Now, with Horizen, who will lead the new blockchain industry, everyone can create more real-use blockchain projects. If anyone has a special idea but needs advice or needs help in technical development, we have Horizen Labs with strong developers. The synergy of the Zendoo with the largest node project Horizen and Horizen Labs is very expected. In Korea, within the last 10 days, I have held meetings with more than 5 projects that are interested in Zendoo, and several projects are scheduled for next week. What I want to say is, in Korea, the Korean government is currently regulating the blockchain industry and rejecting privacy-oriented blockchain projects, but it cannot beat the trend of the times. That is why Horizen, which used to be a privacy-oriented coin, has become a platform that more projects and more companies are interested in. It is actually going on in Korea, and as the number of projects that choose us in Korea increases, I am sure that the Korean government's policy on blockchain, which has a dual policy of rejecting blockchain projects with zero knowledge proof while conducting R&D for same technology, will definitely change. Congratulations to the Horizen team. This is just beginning, I think. Thank you.
And we're back again. And I thought now might be a good little moment just to have a little chat with Ernesto from Dash. And Ernesto, perhaps you can fill us in a bit on the partnership between Dash and Horizen.
Oh, well, hi, Michael. It's a pleasure. Thank you for having me here. I was just saying to the guys offline that it's been interesting to see all the effort that has been going through the team, and everything that's been happening in the behind doors to ship the product out. And ourselves, we spoke to Robert and the rest of the team about 2 years ago, and we were thinking, how can we put our teams together? How can we leverage each other's technology to create a product that has a great chance of being adopted? So back in the day, we knew that, you guys were creating a second layer technology that could allow for some kind of identification or signaling of who's doing what. And Dash has a technology that's great and well suited for small and micro payments. So that's what we decided to do. And we've been building this. It's gone through several names, and probably the final name will be different. But right now it's called Amplifier. So the idea is that people will do tasks, and as they do these tasks, they can get rewarded, and then the rewards will be paid out in Dash. So we're thinking of all these people that work in industries or jobs where you can have a friend do something, and then that friend can get paid. But if that friend refers somebody else, then you do not necessarily want to tell the whole chain who is doing what. So that's been the first idea of a use case that we're working on. And we hope to deploy it initially on social media to test, how people can start talking to their friends and the friends of their friends about all this technology that we're creating. So has been amazing, not only because the product is very exciting, but also because the process and figuring out how we can use and leverage the technology that's being created or is about to be created is exciting. So The team at Dashcore Group has been very enthusiastic and excited to see what we can use with this, and we would be very thrilled to give this out to both of our communities and see where it takes us.
Great, thanks a lot for sharing that, Ernesto. And we'll move on now to an interview with Jason Kovar from Gamestation, another one of Horizen's partners. And there will be a quiz after this interview, so be sure to take notes. And with gaming and the metaverse being all the rage at the moment, this is a really interesting and exciting conversation I had with Jason. And be ready with your Zen wallet addresses so you can complete the quiz and enter your wallet address. We've got over $1,200 worth of Zen to give away and Horizen swag. So here is Jason from Gamestation. So I'm here with Jason. It's nice to meet you. And I thought maybe we'll start off by you introducing yourself to our audience and perhaps telling us what exactly Gamestation is.
Oh, Michael, thanks a lot. Thanks for the chance to be here. And on behalf of everybody at Gamestation, we really appreciate the opportunity to be at such a neat and exclusive event like this. We're super excited. Everybody's pumped. So thanks for having us on board. I got a little bit of a cold, so apologies for any kind of extra breathing I got to do here. But yeah, no, Gamestation is just in a nutshell, more of a high level view, just so that your listeners can kind of get a feel for the flavor of the Pringle here. It's a Kickstarter of gaming, in the sense that we're bringing games and lots of games to the crypto community and working with non-crypto gamers as well to bring them into the fold, so that people can play games to earn money. That's it in a nutshell. So there's a lot of neat things happening in the space, super hot. I'm sure you're going to touch on it. And if the listener will just hang in there for a few minutes, they may find a nugget or two where they can actually use this to help their own wallet at the end of the day. So let's see where it goes.
Great. Well, I'll have my pen and paper ready to write down any little gold gems you share. So essentially, yeah, Kickstarter program, a launch pad for gaming projects.
Essentially, that's it in a nutshell, yeah.
And can you tell us a little bit about what your current relationship is with Horizen? How did you meet, and what has the experience been like working with them so far?
Oh man, we have how many minutes? So this is the one of my, probably going to be my funnest question. I don't know, but this is great. So okay, so here's the real story. You always wonder what happened with how did this, and then with it. Okay, here's the deal. So about almost 4 years ago, I went to just this small little boutique crypto conference when the bear market was starting, crypto winter. Everyone was like, oh, Bitcoin's dying again. Everyone remembers the drama if you were in crypto at that time. And at this conference was a guy named Rob Viglione, who some of you may know. And he ended up speaking, and afterward, I believe it was him and another colleague of mine who many of you know, his name is Dean Steinbeck.
Yep.
We ended up at the buffet table meeting and talking, and I'm telling you, it was like a snowball from there. For the rest of the night, the next day, we just connected, and there was just so much synergy in terms of going in the same direction with whether it was Horizen specific with the privacy and crypto and what they were doing and where they were headed and the momentum they had, or marketing, because I used to be in medical space, switched into crypto. No, I'm sorry, I was in the medical space, and before crypto, I switched into marketing for big box brands and Fortune 500 companies, and then I went into crypto. Missed that critical step in around 2017 or whatever it was, and almost 5 years ago. And there I realized, wow, it was like a wild west of marketing. I mean, people were just doing some really weird stuff, and it wasn't corporate based at all. And I know that marketing and corporate can be like a bad word with some crypto companies. I totally understand that, I'm not trying to step on anybody's toes, but was trying to bring the experience of being able to share crypto with people so that adoption could take place.
Yeah.
There has to be education and explanation on some level, or else, you're kind of, you'd be on a treadmill, right?
Yeah.
So that Rob and I hit it off a lot there. And really the rest is history. So my experience with them has been amazing. A lot of people don't realize that Viglione is one of the sharpest tools in the shed. Dean Steinbeck is one of the sharpest tools in the shed.
Yeah.
And I believe that people are still not ready and are not going to see Horizen coming. That's my opinion. Everyone has a belly button. That's my opinion. But I think it's going to be like a Solana thing or an Avalanche. Crypto's very reactive. And they're going to see what's happening with Zendoo, and they're going to, we got to, get involved. And then we're going to see a rush. This is what I believe is going to happen.
100%. I share the same thoughts as well. And yeah, Dean and Rob, they're both superstars on the team. So yeah, we're super lucky to have them. And yeah, as you say, I think a lot of people are sleeping on Zendoo at the moment, and it's going to take them by surprise. And they're going to say, what's this project? Where did it come from? And then,
how come I didn't know? How come I didn't realize? How come this? Because they're following this person or that person or this newsletter where it's okay. It'll get out there, right?
Yeah, it will. Yeah. It's like, come on, guys, don't you read Barry Silbert's tweets? Like, he's been telling you for quite a while now. Like, listen up. Yeah. So with Zendoo releasing on December 1st, what possibilities do you see opening up for Horizen within the gaming industry? How can Horizen fit in with this ecosystem?
So all we need for that question is like a drum roll.
Yep.
So I think this is a great question. I think it's probably somewhat open-ended in that let's be honest. There's different blockchains out there. Some of them are siloed, some of them aren't. Some of them have more cons and advantages, and some of them have more advantages than cons. And devs usually kind of have a preference. They kind of, maybe they're an ETH maximalist or whatever. Maybe they just love Avalanche because they bought it at 10 cents. I don't know. Everyone has these different preferences. I think Horizen is going to get a lot of traction in the gaming space because of the way their blockchain operates with the technology behind it. And I think they're also going to get a lot of traction because of the privacy factor. This is not something that the gaming space has seen a lot of. Blockchain is about transparency, right? Blockchain is about being able to have the public ledger, DLT. Okay, I get that. But there's some people that don't want all their deets out there, and they don't want to be doxxed at a moment's notice. And this is going to be good. This is going to be good. So I think we're going to try and help do it together with Gamestation, who's launching games. I mean, we launch games every few days now, and we're very selective. We're very picky. We're afraid that the next scam area is PDE, which means play to earn. We're afraid that that's it. So we have a due diligence team. We vet everything. We generally don't take a project unless the game is good, the quality is good, the community behind it is good, the team is good, the tokenomics are good. Tokenomics are huge. In-game economy has to be dialed in. So there's a lot of factors and a lot of the hoops that the people have to jump through, these gaming companies, before they can go with us. So, but I think that with Horizen, this is really going to help the gaming ecosystem, because at the end of the day, for us, Gamestation isn't trying to kill it and get this huge market share. This is, like I said before, it's not corporate America. It's how do we expand the gaming space and help people make money? Oh, that's very nice. That sounds very choir boy, Boy Scout of you. It's the truth. When we started Gamestation 2 years ago, when we started developing it, the core concept vision was how can we help people make money and not just be another blockchain? What can we do? PDE solved that issue in spades for us.
Yeah. So it's a little bit distracted because I've got a toddler trying to open the door here just at that moment, but that's okay.
Keeping it real. That's okay.
Keeping it real. So yeah. My wife.
We said hi. Hello from Zen and Gamestation.
Yeah. So my wife's got her hands full at the moment, but that's okay. So as you were saying, privacy, super important. We don't want everything out in the open. And I guess with the play to earn space and metaverse and gaming, there's a whole economy on there with NFTs and everything else, and we don't necessarily want to see we don't want everyone to see exactly what we own, what NFTs, how much we paid for them, how much we sold them for. It seems crazy that that's the standard at the moment. It's just complete opposite to how the real world works, and I think it's only a matter of time before privacy really jumps in and takes over.
That's an amazing point. A lot of people you just said more than a lot of people have really thought through yet. And so I validate, commend, and confirm that 100%. That's a very important area that people haven't really, that hasn't been gotten around to yet, maybe. But I think this is going to be a nice solution.
Yeah. And are there any gaming projects in particular that you've thought about and think, Horizen would be a perfect fit to work with them? Are there any that come to mind that you'd like to see Horizen work with?
All of them.
All of them, yeah.
I mean, that's probably not, that probably doesn't sound like a very good answer, but
yeah,
honestly, all of them. I mean, I really think there's something to be said for the privacy factor, as you pointed out. You know, maybe someone owns 10 Cyberpunk or whatever they may own. Maybe they don't want that out there. Maybe they don't want everyone to know. And so are keeping, I guess the question maybe for me is are keeping payment details private? Is it absolutely necessary? People would argue no. Some people would argue yes. But is it preferred? Most people would say yeah. I mean, when you go to a play to win game and you buy something, is it just out there for everyone to see who you are, what you've done, and are you doxxed? No. So this is something that I think holds a lot of value, that it's in discovery mode at the moment, right? In a way, we're speculating about how it will play out in the gaming space, but everything's lined up. The ducks are in a row, so it should move forward very well. And I'd like to see all gaming projects consider it, because we're a multi-chain launchpad. We're a multi-chain launchpad. So having something like Zen there with this option, I think it's amazing. So we just, right? So a lot of games come pre-built on X chain. But by doing that, they sometimes will limit or silo or put a glass ceiling in terms of users. So, right, by having them start to maybe port over or build on some other chain, I think there could be a lot of advantages to that.
Great. And this year we've seen the incredible rise of play-to-earn games like Axie Infinity and metaverse projects like Decentraland. Recently, that's had a big price explosion. And especially with Facebook recently announcing Meta, it seems the narrative and focus of 2022 will be on the metaverse and gaming. And I wonder, how do you see crypto gaming evolving next year? And when do you think the big boys like EA and others will make the jump to crypto?
Michael, these are good questions. I don't usually get asked this, so and I appreciate it. So let's start with the last part first. The big boys, when will they jump in? I can say with certainty, and I have some proof, that the big boys are looking at how to do this. They are looking at how to migrate to blockchain, or to maybe shift a legacy here or there to blockchain. But it's very difficult for them. I mean, we have to think in terms of a massive corporation that's making tons of money on a model that still works, right? So think Titanic, small rudder. They want to move, but it's like, it's real slow. So in terms of timelines, I don't give any. I see the gaming is so hot right now. I mean, NFTs are so hot right now. Metaverses are so hot that it's insane. Everything's going to pump in this space. And I don't know how much longer the bull market in Bitcoin may go before we have a drop and we do a little bear and then the next bull comes. But I think gaming completely makes it through that bull all the way. And I think in the bear, it can still work, because like the model for Gamestation, for example, is it's more of a service that's it's in our lives. We have some charts and whatnot to show this, but in a nutshell and from just a high level, you know, if Bitcoin crashes, Michael, are you going to stop taking a shower? Are you going to stop going to the store? Right? Are you going to not turn the lights on anymore and not use electricity? Well, you might use less if your wallet got but are you not going to send your kids to school? These are services that you use on a regular basis. Studies have shown that when people are depressed or they lost money, they gain more, not less. So gaming is kind of interestingly weaving its way into the fabric of the culture as a service that's key to their lives or implemented into their lives. And this will sustain a bear market well if the in-game economies of the games and the tokenomics are situated for the gamer benefit, which many of them are. Some aren't so great. We don't touch or launch those, but we don't know how each game will do. We don't control each team, right? We just help to go out there with them. So that's a long-winded answer. Remind me the first parts of the question again, if you wouldn't mind.
So how do you see crypto gaming evolving next year? Yeah.
Oh, because of Axie, right?
Yeah, Axie and Decentraland and yeah.
Yes, and Sand recently
exploded.
Yep. Through the roof, right? Yeah. So we see Meta having a real future. I believe personally that eventually, when we get to the point where we have the Facebook is developing a game, which is a metaverse game that people aren't really aware of yet, that when it comes out, it's going to, I think, dwarf the whole social media scene. It's going to be huge, and they were very savvy to change their name to Meta because that's exactly what it is. And I believe over time, as we're get used to the devices and these different things, the VR world, the AR world, virtual reality, augmented reality is going to be somewhat incomprehensible from our real life. So pretty soon we're going to be spending much more time over here. Look at what you and I are doing. We're in a metaverse in a sense. Metaverse just means everything digital. We pay our bank online. We're talking right now online. We're shopping online. Crypto brought ownership. So crypto brought the ability to, I can own my assets, my NFTs, whereas before that didn't exist. I can spend now in this, specifically in this digital space now. So people are going to be really migrating over there. So I see play to earn going very big. I see people quitting jobs in factories and playing games at home. I see this really unfolding, and in some ways it's amazing. In other ways, we need people. We need skilled people out there who still have skills, not just amazing at moving the toggles to win the game. So we also want to bring educational games into this so that people can still learn, and it's not just about beating the next guy. It's about understanding the world around you for the social, the moral, the ethical, all those things that are important in individuals, that those still are maintained as well. So we're trying to keep our finger on the pulse of everything, and it's quite extensive.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot going on, and certainly an exciting future. And you were mentioning as well, when people are depressed and in the bear market, often play games more. That's one thing that we missed during the last bear market. We didn't have this whole play to earn space. So it'll be really interesting to see how that plays out during the next market cycle. Because I know even a lot of the projects that I'd invested in during that last bear cycle, some of them hadn't even had staking launched yet. So they weren't earning any yield for me at all during that time. So it was a lot harder for many people to really, to survive that bear market, because they're not getting anything from some of those projects. Whereas maybe the next cycle we can play games and still earn, and it's like, oh, okay, I can get through this. This is another thing just to keep you going. And I think that's going to be really interesting to see how that unfolds.
Great point. We're all excited to see how it unfolds too. It's hard to kind of speculate, but we can look at the past and try and see how it rhymes with the future to one degree or another. So yeah, we'll see soon, maybe.
Great. Well, thanks very much for your time, Jason. It's been wonderful having you on and chatting, and really excited to see what you do with Horizen going forward. And I'm sure many people out there watching will be keeping a close eye on Gamestation now.
Listen, the pleasure is all mine. Thank you for having me on behalf of on behalf of everybody at Gamestation. Thank you to you and everybody at Horizen. You guys have an amazing team. Top tier, AAA grade project, without a doubt. And we definitely see you guys moving forward. And in any way we can assist or help, love to do it.
Great.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jason.
Bye-bye.
And we're back. So a lot of exciting things happening in the gaming world. And for those of you that were taking notes, we have a quiz. So Erica is going to post the link in the chat now. And we've got over $1,000 worth of Zen and Horizen swag to give away. So be sure to complete the quiz, and good luck to everyone doing that. I was reading some of the comments in the chat, and we've got a few comments about the moustache in there. I saw someone said it was glorious. Someone said it reminded them of Mario and Luigi. So I thought we might do a little vote because my wife wasn't too happy with it and she ended up winning. I had to cut it off. But a yay or a nay, a thumbs up or a thumbs down for the moustache. Should I grow it back or not for the next live stream? And see if you'll make my wife happy or very upset. And I saw another question as well about Korean exchanges and whether Horizen will be listed on any Korean exchanges. So I thought maybe we'll just ask Vano on what the latest news is with Korean exchange integrations.
Thanks, Michael. So actually, we have been listed at Korean exchanges in the past, but the thing is that due to regulator pressure, those exchanges had to delist Zen and other coins with privacy features in it right now. So yeah, at the moment, the situation there is that no Korean exchange has any cryptocurrency with privacy features, but I think once the regulation situation is better there, once there is more legal clarity, I think we will have a better possibility to get back on Korean exchanges. But we certainly have those integrations and those partnerships in the loop. We are constantly pinging those guys, our partners there, to see if the situation is any better. But so far, it's not any better right now.
Yeah, it's a shame, but hopefully in the future things will change and we'll be able to get listed in Korea, so the Korean army can have better access to it. And we'll move on now to our next interview with Liat Aronson from Horizen Labs. And for those that still haven't completed the quiz yet, it is in the chat, the link, so be sure to go there for your chance to win some Zen. And here is my chat with Liat. So I'm here with Liat Aronson, the COO, Chief Operating Officer at Horizen Labs. It's great to connect with you, Liat.
Great to connect with you too.
So I thought today we'll just talk a little bit about Horizen Labs and the relationship with Horizen and a little bit about your role there, what you do, and what Horizen Labs is currently working on and their future path forward and things like that. I'm sure there'll be plenty to talk about. So I thought perhaps just to start off, can you tell us a little bit about Horizen Labs? Who are they and what has the journey been like so far?
Sure. So Horizen Labs is a commercial spin-off out of the Horizen public blockchain. So in an effort to help open up the ecosystem, we thought that we could raise equity funding in order to be able to spend sums of money on building technology on behalf of Horizen blockchain. The idea was to really go on the technological innovation. I think Horizen had done an amazing job with financial innovation until then, and the realization was in order to make it a real utility, we needed some technological innovation, and that's where Horizen Labs comes in. So although we have built the technology to be blockchain agnostic, our goal and mission is to help open up the Horizen ecosystem.
Yep, excellent. And I noticed you mentioned funding there in that answer. And I was reading your bio earlier, and one thing that stood out to me was that you're an expert in acquiring funding. I saw you have a keen interest in entrepreneurship and have developed programs for entrepreneurs to take ideas and turn them into funded startups. And you also have excellent legal qualifications and experience in mergers and acquisitions. How do you feel these skills have helped with your role at Horizen Labs? And recently, Horizen Labs acquired $7 million in seed funding, and no doubt your experience and expertise had a huge impact with that.
Well, first of all, thank you. I think that just shows that I've been around for a while, yes. But I did start out as a mergers and acquisitions lawyer and then transitioned into an entrepreneurship educator. Gave me a lot of different vantage points of what the entrepreneurial ecosystem looks like. From ideation through also to funding and operating a company. I think it's not only about expertise, it's also about network. So over those years, And because Israel is a hotbed for innovation and funding activities, both from the local ecosystem and VC funds from abroad, I've had some experience in that sense. I was also a VC investor for 2 years in a New York, Tel Aviv venture fund that was focusing on Series A, B kind of companies. So yeah, I think the experience and the network did help. In the end, an introduction to someone that a colleague of mine from an organization called the Kaufman Fellows, it's like an investors network that I belong to. That connection with Jihan from Kinetic actually led to the pricing of the round and what turned into a really very nice rounding out of our seed round. We'd had a convertible note, and then we raised an additional $7 million at a very nice valuation compared to the cap on the convertible. So showing that the market is very much optimistic and supportive of what we're doing.
That's excellent. And what does this funding mean for the future and growth of Horizen Labs? Where is this going to be put to use?
In many ways. So first and foremost, it was to give us the buffer we need to continue the technological development. As I'm sure you realize, what is imminently launching, and we're so excited about it, is some very hefty technological innovation, and that took many man hours and will take many more in order to make it a robust set of tools and products that will enable really any developer or company or startup to be able to take our SDK and be able to build on it. So for us, that funding was, first of all, it gives you the confidence to continue building because you've got that kind of supportive backwind, but also it's also the kind of funding that allows you to be able to do the very aggressive hiring. We started out in 2021 with 20 employees and are now edging to 40. So that obviously helps in that department.
Wow, that's certainly a lot of growth happening there. 40 employees. I didn't realize we've got that many now.
And most of them, and most of them are engineers. So, and we're just now getting into the place where we're starting to grow our business development team. So far, Dean, who's been handling the business development absolutely amazingly, has really worked with a team of basically 2, he and Casper's, and they've done an amazing job. But in order to really scale that, we need to also hire in the business development team. And then the more engineers and the more business development, the more back end you need in order to kind of, so it's, it's like a cyclical thing, but we are looking for a very expansive 2022.
Excellent. And what are some of the projects you're working on at the moment?
So again, going back to your first question, Horizen Labs sees itself as an enabler to opening up the ecosystem. And in order to do that, we realize that to entice users and customers, we need to make generally blockchain and specifically the Horizen blockchain more accessible to users. And the way that we're going to do that is by helping. So our BD team is making connections with organizations that want our blockchains, and we're going to help build them. And then the idea is that every product that we build, whether it's for a third-party customer or for the Horizen network, will then be able to be scaled and offered to other users. So we're building a whole array of products. The lead one is our ZK Audit, which is essentially an auditing function for decentralized network. So think like Ernst & Young, but for networks that are on blockchain and are highly centralized. So a way to kind of prove that something happened without actually showing the details of the transaction. It's a great use case for us because it highlights what our expertise is, which is blockchain infrastructure with zero knowledge. We are a zero knowledge enabled network of blockchain, and that is a perfect example of that capability. but we have many more in stock.
Yes, excellent. You spend a lot of time traveling, particularly between Israel and New York, and also the Milan office of Horizen Labs. And I'm wondering, from an international perspective, can you tell us a bit about the global impact of crypto that you are witnessing, and what type of trends are you observing?
You know, probably the basic trend that I see is that crypto companies tend to be remote. And I think, unlike many startups in fintech or SaaS companies that service B2B, business to business, I think the United States is not the focus. I think this is a worldwide market. And so it's fitting that companies are remote, and we started remote first and we've maintained that. We have our engineering team in Milan. We have our product team growing in New York. We've got the rest of the team scattered really all over the United States and Europe and Asia. And we feel that that's actually part of this wider world trend, and believe that it really hones in with the whole message of blockchain and decentralization. So a world that doesn't have the kind of borders that we're used to. And I see that in trends in conferences I've gone to as well. I think this is definitely the ethos of this community, and why everyone in the community, I think, is excited about that.
Excellent. And talking about excitement, with Zendoo launching, or having launched now by the time we're playing this interview, I'm just wondering, what impact do you see Zendoo having on the industry, and why should people care when they have thousands of other chains and projects to choose from?
Well, you know, I think we're in a nascent part, or a nascent time in the development of this technology. And so I think a lot of our competitors are also doing really great things, and we're all learning from each other. I think what we have going for us is a very active community, a really large and robust node network. I think our expertise in the technology is a differentiating point, because use of zero knowledge is not as prevalent. Although I do think some of our competitors are starting to do that. We all kind of watch what's going on. And really, I don't think it's a race to having one winner. I think one of the ideas of decentralization is that there will be different products and they will interact with each other. And that's what we're looking toward building in our 2022 roadmap. So abilities to engage with other blockchains. And that interoperability means that there doesn't have to be one, and I think this is a big difference from what's going on in tech right now. So instead of, the big five, maybe this is a truly decentralized world where there are many, many more, and emergent ones coming in and taking shape and taking place. I think what's special about us is first and foremost, our technological ability, and then of course our robust node network and community.
Excellent perspective. And just talking about the node network as well, for those that don't know, Horizen has the largest node network in the industry, and more nodes than even Bitcoin and Ethereum combined. So that's quite a massive achievement to hold that crown in this space.
And I really, just to add to that, I think that is part of Rob's vision from the get-go, and Horizen's vision of trying to make sure that it's really the innovation of Horizen in the first place to be inclusive and incentivizing to all participants in the ecosystem. And that is why the SDK and everything that we've built also allows developers to have economic participation in the side chains or in the blockchain instances that they put out there. And that, again, is part of this understanding that in order to create a robust ecosystem, all parties need to be incentivized financially.
Yeah, that's a great point. And just to close our little chat tonight, I'd like to ask you this last question. So women in crypto are often underrepresented, and no doubt you are a strong role model for women in this industry. Do you have any advice for female entrepreneurs who may be considering a career in crypto?
Absolutely. And I have generally advice for women in entrepreneurship. So I feel privileged to have gotten to a place where I'm a role model, and I do a lot of giving back in that community. So I'm I'm a mentor in many programs that help bolster women in entrepreneurship generally, and specifically in crypto. I think crypto offers an incredible opportunity for women specifically because there aren't a lot of women, there's a lot of advantage to being, the kind of odd egg in the room. I think people tend to remember you more and maybe listen to you more. I think that also puts a burden in a sense, but it's also an opportunity. I've never found that being a woman has been a hindrance, but I have found it to be, and I really, really encourage women to go out there. Remote companies make for flexible work-life balance, and crypto is booming, and there's a lot of financial reward available, which I think is also important to financial independence. Anyway, I could talk about that for hours. And in fact, I do in many opportunities. But if anyone wants to reach out, they can find me on Discord or any other channel, and I'm happy to discuss anything with any female entrepreneur thinking about, or anyone interested in getting into crypto.
Great. Thank you so much, Liat. It's been a really great opportunity to chat with you, and I learned a lot more about the Horizen Labs ecosystem. So thanks for sharing all your knowledge with us, and all the best for Horizen Labs going forward.
Well, and all the best for Horizen and our big delivery. We're so excited. And great to meet you too, Michael.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you, Liat. And we're back live again, and it's quiz time. So Erica's going to share a link in the chat for everyone that wants to win some free Zen and Horizen swag. Be sure to complete that quiz in the YouTube chat. And we're going to move on now in a couple of minutes, because we'll give you time to think through those questions. And next up, we'll have Gemma Zhu from Fork Ventures. And does anyone else want to say anything in particular to the community while we're waiting a couple of minutes just for people to complete this quiz? Sorry to put everyone on the spot like that.
I think Erica has some comments.
I'm very much on the spot. Sure, I'll go ahead and introduce myself. I'm Erica. I am the marketing manager here at Horizen. I have had the incredible pleasure of working with the team and the community for the last 3 years now. I've really focused a lot on working with the ambassador program and our ambassadors here. If you guys are not aware of the Horizen Ambassador Program, it is a build your own style ambassador program where people really get to choose how they contribute to Horizen and earn for their time, which is really great if you are a content creator, a community manager, or just somebody who's really into Horizen and what we're doing here. I highly recommend you check out our program. It's really great. Apply online at horizen.io/ambassadors. We'd love to figure out how you can contribute to Horizen and our community and earn for your time. Thank you very much.
And I will vouch for it. I'm a part of that program as well, and yeah, it's really great. A lot of support there with Erica and everyone else, and I'd encourage you all to be involved if you want to help see the Horizen ecosystem grow. And actually that will segue quite well into a couple of short little clips from others and evangelists. I'll just play them, and then we'll jump into the interview with Gemma Zhu.
This is my Zen story, and why I chose Zen as my journey. Horizen has such a great potential, and the vision is to overcome the current if problems, high fees, slow transactions, and users angry about how the things are going. When Zendoo will go live on the Mainnet, all the issues will be gone. I just chose to be one of the Zen evangelists to tell people about Zen and how great it is, to put the potential in the spotlights and tell others that this is the future. You can be part of it by joining our program and just enjoy our benefits, from beautiful swag to a great community full of good vibes.
J'ai choisi de me joindre au projet Horizen pour cette technologie, la communauté et pour l'équipe. Les fondateurs sont vraiment très transparents, sont accessibles, toujours présents pour répondre à nos questions en cas de besoin. Ils font également régulièrement des mises à jour. À chaque lundi, la communauté se rencontre afin de bien expliquer les étapes qui ont été suivies pour la continuité du projet. Horizen, selon moi, est construit sur des excellentes bases, pas juste sur la spéculation. En ce moment, il y a environ peut-être plus de 3500 projets blockchain, puis ils ne sont pas tous nécessairement utiles, je dirais. C'est le réseau qui est probablement le plus décentralisé en ce moment, avec 48 000 nœuds. Il n'y a aucun autre projet qui s'en approche. Ils ont également une super belle gouvernance qui permet de bien répartir les récompenses pour les gens qui participent au réseau. Le programme m'a fait rencontrer des personnes vraiment extraordinaires et passionnées un peu partout dans le monde. Moi, je viens du Canada, donc j'ai eu la chance de rencontrer, discuter avec des gens de la France, des États-Unis, en Europe, Asie. C'est super intéressant. Ça m'a permis également de m'améliorer beaucoup aussi au niveau de mes compétences techniques, puis aussi d'en apprendre davantage sur le projet Horizen. Pour terminer, j'aimerais ça inviter tous les gens qui sont passionnés par la blockchain ou la crypto-monnaie à rejoindre notre équipe. On travaille très très fort, mais on a beaucoup de plaisir à participer tous ensemble. Donc, joignez notre superbe équipe dans cette belle aventure.
Alors, pourquoi j'ai choisi de devenir Zen évangéliste Horizen? En fait, j'étais déjà pas mal impliqué dans le projet Horizen avant la mise en place du programme d'ambassadeur. Donc, j'avais déjà quelques Zen, bien sûr. Un node, j'avais fait quelques articles sur la fossette et le montage d'un node, notamment. Ensuite, j'avais rempli une tâche dans le HDE qui consistait à écrire de la documentation sur les sidechains et le SDK Zendoo. Et donc tout ça, c'était avant la mise en place du programme de Zen Evangelist, donc c'était une suite logique pour moi finalement d'adhérer au programme. Et quand j'ai vu qu'il y avait des stickers et des t-shirts offerts, j'ai foncé tête baissée, obligé. Alors comment le programme a-t-il été bénéfique pour moi et pour la communauté Horizen? Pour chaque Zen Evangelist qui va s'inscrire, et pour moi c'est évident, il n'y a pas de meilleur moyen pour en apprendre plus sur un sujet que d'essayer de l'expliquer aux autres. Dire que qu'on écrive des articles, qu'on en traduise, qu'on fasse des conférences de vulgarisation, qu'on donne des cours ou qu'on écrive du code, plus on explique un sujet et plus on le maîtrise soi-même. Voilà, parce que pour expliquer aux autres, on est obligé d'aller au fond des choses et de les maîtriser. Sinon, on ne sait pas les expliquer. Voilà, donc ça c'est pour la partie technique. Après, il y a aussi la partie partage, bien sûr. Partager son savoir et aider les autres à mettre le pied à l'étrier, c'est valorisant humainement aussi. Donc ouais, c'est pas à négliger. Ensuite, pour la communauté Horizen, ce qu'elle y gagne, c'est plus d'investissement de la part des gens. Et bien sûr, plus de documentation, plus de ressources, plus de regards différents sur le code quand il y a un problème de code à résoudre, plus de traduction, donc plus de public touché. Et pour les utilisateurs en général, c'est plusieurs visions partagées, donc plus de façons d'aborder l'écosystème Horizen qui est touffu. Et donc c'est bien d'avoir plusieurs portes d'entrée. Qu'est-ce que je pourrais bien dire à d'autres personnes qui voudraient s'impliquer davantage dans la communauté d'Horizen? Alors déjà, je dirais qu'il y a de la place pour tout le monde. Ça se voit au niveau de la diversité des tâches qui sont proposées sur l'HDE. C'est-à-dire qu'on soit traducteur, développeur, créateur de contenu, il y a vraiment de la place pour tous les profils. Dès lors qu'on veut aider le projet Horizen, on trouvera une tâche à faire. Voilà, je leur dirais aussi que ça leur fera du bien de s'impliquer dans un projet. Et alors pourquoi celui-là en particulier? Ça c'est une affaire de conviction, mais moi je trouve que le projet est prometteur, solide, il y a une énorme équipe derrière. des gens qui sont compétents et toujours prompts à expliquer ce qu'ils font. Notamment avec les Weekly Insiders, on en apprend beaucoup sur le projet. Les gens prennent vraiment le temps d'expliquer, que ce soit au niveau marketing, technique. Enfin, c'est vraiment un projet qui est énormément tourné vers ses utilisateurs. Et ensuite, c'est ce qu'on fait en ce moment, hein, l'arrivée de Zendoo. Ça, les sidechains, c'est vraiment pour moi une révolution pour le projet Horizen et même pour la blockchain en général. Ça va vraiment être un grand pas, je pense. Bon, on verra ça plus tard peut-être. Et le petit bonus, les évangélistes ont des réductions dans la boutique et il y a vraiment des super objets dans la boutique.
I'm here with Gemma Zhu from Fork Ventures. It's great to have you here.
Hi, Michael. Great to be here.
And I thought we might just start off just by discussing a little bit about what Fork Ventures is and what your role is supporting Horizen.
Sure. So Fork Ventures is a vehicle where my partners and I make crypto investments through. We've all been in crypto since early 2017, mostly investing in early stage projects, as well as a bit of trading and some sort of advisory to help out our portfolio companies. So far we've got probably I would say a portfolio size of around 35 to 40 projects, and they've largely all done quite well. Even many of those who've survived through the bear market or the last bear market. And I was introduced to Horizen, team at Horizen, Rob and the team at Horizen actually early this year by one of the exchanges that I'm quite close with. And to be honest, I didn't realize Horizen had rebranded to Horizen was a rebrand of Zencash. Back in 2017, when I first got into crypto, I actually held some Zencash. I was always very fascinated by the privacy aspects, but then didn't really follow how it's evolved and iterated over the years. And so when I was introduced to Rob and the team early this year, I realized, wow, it has come a long way since just a privacy coin, and is growing into essentially a layer one solution with Mainnet coming up, very shortly, and given it's privacy centric, right? As an ecosystem, the technology itself is privacy centric, and I can see a lot of applications, particularly around finance, and given the networks, the investor networks, the founder networks I've built up in the last few years. So what I'm doing now with Horizen is really helping the team at Horizen to grow the ecosystem by introducing more projects, more founders, to first understand what the technology is about, and also to then cross over and build on these on the mainnet.
Excellent. And you were mentioning financial applications and privacy. So I guess that's a really key thing going forward with the space. And I want to also ask you, because with your advisory roles, you have probably a lot of great insight into this area. And the team lead, Rob Viglione, has spoken a lot about opening up the ecosystem. So I'm just wondering, where do you see Horizen's current state of ecosystem growth, and what are you expecting over the next 12 months?
I think Horizen at the moment with the mainnet launch, it's really time to take the name, get the name out there and let everyone know what it is about, right? So having spoken to many of my portfolio projects as well as other founders and investors, many of them are not familiar with what Horizen is about, what the technology is about. But they did, when I say Zencash, it does ring a bell. So I think there is, it's almost like Horizen is a blank piece of paper at the moment in terms of ecosystem growth, and that's largely because apps or dApps haven't been able to be built on it yet, given that Mainnet is around the corner. But I do see that in the next 12 to 18 months, or even 24 months, is where we'll see this acceleration in the number of the apps that will come into the ecosystem, particularly in DeFi, and that will go in parallel with the growth or the improvements in the infrastructure within Horizen, right? So making the bridges, EVM compatibility, and therefore that will enable various other additional tooling to be built, and DEXs, AMMs, all the key components of DeFi, right, to come on board. And obviously, another verticals would be NFTs, metaverse, but I do see sort of DeFi, given the privacy centric, I guess, characteristic of Horizen. I think DeFi is probably the first and the most low-hanging fruit use case.
Great. So you're mentioning several trends just then: metaverse, NFTs, and DeFi, which are all the rage at the moment. And your pick of those three, you think DeFi is where Horizen is going to make its first big splash this coming year?
Yeah, I do think so. Having spoken with the team many times, as well as other founders, it's really, it's lacking a lot of the core elements of DeFi, and I think that's where the opportunity is, right? Is it doesn't have any of the existing DeFi infrastructure that other ecosystems have. So I think that's where the growth will initially be.
Great, and that's perhaps the largest impact you can see Zendoo having on the cryptocurrency industry.
Absolutely, and the great thing I love about Zendoo is the fact that these side chains allow applications to essentially be on the chains that suits its particular use case, right? Rather be all on the same chain. If it's an NFT platform versus say an AMM, where the requirements are different, they focus on different things, then they can be on their own side chain, right, while still having the security of the main chain. So I think that's really where, and not fight over block space or and if the chain gets congested, they can move on to another chain, another side chain. So I think that's where the scalability, the ability to grow exponentially really comes in.
Excellent. Well, thanks so much, Gemma, for those great insights, and it's been lovely chatting with you.
Great. Thanks, Michael.
And we're back again, and it's time for another quiz. So I hope you're all paying attention. And just for those that are joining us or weren't here earlier, these quizzes, we've got over $1,000 worth of Zen and Horizen swag to give away, and everyone that completes the quiz will get some Zen, and those who get all the answers correct will get a little bit extra, and the people that complete the quiz first, they'll get the gift voucher for the Horizen swag store. And Erica's just shared that in the chat, so be sure to complete that survey and you can win some Zen. All right, we'll perhaps have a quick little look with Victor in the Milan office, who has a new Horizen mascot to share with everyone. So I'll see if I can pin your video. There we go. That's the, I'll hide the banner. That's the Horizen mascot in the Milan office. Very nice, Victor. Thanks for sharing.
You're welcome.
And I love the Horizen logo on the on his shirt as well.
Maybe Alberto can give us some inputs as to the story behind the minion.
I mean, regarding the story, there is not a, let me say,
is there a story?
Yeah, this is the point, no? Is there a story? I mean, at some point, we thought that would have been fun to have a huge minion at the entrance of the office with the Horizen logo, and we did it. It was much simpler.
The minion does all the work.
We tried, but it's just helpful with bananas, nothing more, I mean, someone tried to dress him in different ways, and So, but yeah, it's a funny presence in the office. So when you enter in the office, this is almost the first thing that you see. So you understand immediately what is the mood.
And Zen Baby #1 loves it. Anna Sophia loves when she goes into the office. She just runs into hugs the minion.
It's hard to hug it. I mean,
yeah, oh, it's very large.
It's large. I mean, it's
how much does it weigh? It's pretty heavy.
It's pretty heavy. I don't know, but probably more than 70 kilos or something like that. It's 1.70 meters, so it's quite high as well. But it's very soft, no? So maybe this is the reason Anna Sophia loves so much.
Yeah.
We have some nice pictures with the team members with the minion.
That's great.
It's a great donation. Thank you.
So it's not only no painful howls, it's also a playful environment.
Exactly. I mean, we can do better. Maybe. Who knows?
Great. Well, we might move on to the next interview with Matt Burke from Foundry. And if anyone has any questions they want to ask the team, be sure to write them down in the chat and we'll see if we can answer a few of them before we finish. And I see one there which says Zen asking about Horizen, if they're looking to switch to proof of stake similar to Zcash, or will you remain proof of work? So my understanding is that we're remaining proof of work for the foreseeable future, and if there is going to be a time where there is a change, that'll be once there's voting enabled and it'll be put to a community vote, but I don't think that's on the horizon anytime soon.
But let's remind everyone that we have our sidechain systems are proof of stake. So we have the utmost security of proof of work with our main chain, and the sidechain system, which is an Ouroboros space, are proof of stake. So it's I believe we have the perfect balance in the foreseeable future. And Albert, I'm not sure if you want to mention anything more.
Yeah, we can add also this thing that in reality, with Lados, we are proving the whole history of the sidechain. This has the advantage, beyond all the advantages that for communicating between the sidechain and the main chain, there is the advantage of, let me say, having the possibility of having a succinct state, or succinct proof of the state of the blockchain. This means that for a sidechain, you will be able, for example, to have not to download the whole history up to the current date, but you have a proof of the state at that moment. And so we have, beyond the fact of being proof of stake, we are even able to introduce this additional possibility to not have to download the full history of the sidechain. And this can be also extended in the future to the main chain.
Great, thanks for expanding on that. And I also see there are some people asking for Angie to say hello to the community. So if you're there, Angie, do you want to say a quick hello to everyone?
Yeah, sure. So hi, everyone. I'm Angie, one of the OGs at Horizen, and the titles start to get very familiar with me being around here for the past 4 years. So I have proof that this team has grown so much, that we have overcome a lot of difficulties, but also a lot of fun times and also great successes. So I'm super happy and glad to still be part of this project. Seeing it evolve and be part of that I think it's a huge privilege in anyone's career. It's something that almost everybody could wish for. Also being in the blockchain space and the crypto industry, which is not something that a lot of people get to say, because it's a very competitive industry for sure. So super glad and happy to be here, to be celebrating with everyone. Congratulations to the whole team for the Zendoo launch. I was witness of the whole effort and really the time that was put into all of this behind the scenes. There's a lot of work always happening almost at any time because we're all distributed, which is great. And yeah, super happy and also humble to still be a part of the community, to the project, and just kind of like be behind the scenes, also contributing here and there with Horizen. So this is just the beginning. So we're celebrating, but like as Rob always says, this is just the start, and we have to keep on pushing, keep on moving forward. And I'm pretty sure that a lot of exciting things are coming as well. The 2022 roadmap is still kind of like a surprise for almost everyone, including me. But I'm super excited to see it and discover what we're going to be doing, just kind of like in here and still contributing to the blockchain and crypto space. So greetings to everyone out there, to our global community. Really, it's really fun to see people out there from everywhere. And just someone that likes Horizen, I think it's very valuable for everyone and for each one of us. And thank you.
Great. Thanks, Angie. I'm here with Matt Burke, and it's great to have you on. You're a Zenvangelist, and you also work for a company called Foundry. And perhaps you can tell us a little bit about your role there and how you became involved with Horizen as well.
Yeah, sure thing. So Foundry it's a wholly owned subsidiary of Digital Currency Group, DCG. We are the infrastructure arm. We're focused on decentralizing infrastructure, both on the proof of work side of the world, as well as the proof of stake side of the world. And so my role at Foundry, I work as a blockchain data analyst, and my role really entails a lot of both product and project management on the staking side of our business. So on November 10th, we publicly launched our staking business. We've been staking internally, both our own assets, DCG's assets, Genesis's assets, for over a year and a half now. But as of a couple of weeks ago, we wanted to open that up to the rest of the world at the institutional level. So my role specifically is I work as an intermediary between our engineering team and the business to help bring staking projects forward to make sure that we can support as many protocols in the most secure, efficient way as possible to deliver great staking experiences to our customers.
That's great. And you mentioned to the institution level. Are there any plans to open that up to smaller investors?
At this point, we're focused exclusively on institutions as far as our marketing and our communications goes. Now, there are a number of protocols that do allow the retail to delegate or stake to our nodes. But at this point, no, we don't necessarily have any plans to target retail.
Yeah. Okay. So mainly, focusing on the large institutions and getting them involved with staking and locking away that precious Zen off the market.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
That's great. And one thing you help educate institutions about is single address staking. And that's something that maybe is relatively new to a lot of people. Do you want to tell us a little bit about what that is and why that's important?
Yeah. So I believe it was, I want to say in April, maybe don't quote me on that, I may be wrong. Within the past 6 months or so, the Horizen team opened up single address staking for secure nodes. And so prior to single address staking, what the process was is, as we know, secure nodes require 42 Zen per node to stake. And prior to that, you needed a unique wallet for each Zen that each secure node that you were staking on, which became for institutions that we were working with, doing it on the large scale, became a very cumbersome process managing all of those wallets. And so when the team enabled single address staking, it opened up a whole new world wherein, as far as user experience can go, wherein the users can store their Zen in a single address. They can stake to a number of other addresses from that address. And what's more is the payouts from those stake nodes can be sent to multiple different addresses. So from a user experience standpoint, it became much less cumbersome. And part of what we at Foundry are doing is educating our customers on, not only what the Zen project, the Horizen project is, and the staking available through it, and the benefits that affords them and the network, but also how easy the process and straightforward the process is now, to make it as smooth as possible for them.
That's excellent. Yeah, and I'd stress as well for people watching, it's not just for institutions, this single address staking, it's for anyone, so that they can do it as well. Even if you've only got 2 nodes, you can set up single address staking, have it all on one. And I guess one of the benefits for that is you could have your nodes running on Ledger device, hardware wallet, and you can set a payout address to perhaps Sphere. And then each week your payments just get sent to your Sphere wallet automatically while your staked Zen is locked away safe on a hardware wallet.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, and and very a big time saver for those with a lot of nodes. You don't have to manually withdraw the rewards and manage all of that. So yeah, if people want more information about that, it's on the horizen.io website, or you can reach out to the support at the team as well, and they can help you get started if you want to set your nodes up for single address staking.
Yep.
And let's talk a little bit about your story and how you became involved in blockchain and how long you've been as an evangelist for.
Yeah, so I'm relatively new to the blockchain world. I really dove in January of 2021 when I took this job with Foundry. Prior to that, I was working a lot of project management and operations management at education technology companies. I was ready for a bit of a change, and my wife was in crypto. She had been in crypto for quite some time, and despite her having been in it, I never really took the time to dive into it and look into it and learn about it. When I did, I read the Bitcoin white paper. So Bitcoin is really my on-ramp into crypto. And after reading it, I think it was the second or third time, I just had this light bulb moment where I was like, all right, this is it. This is what I'm going to do for the rest of my career. And so, yeah, I was fortunate enough to have found Foundry and, have applied and gotten an offer. And so that was really my first entrance into not only into crypto, but one of my first projects was to learn about Horizen, the Horizen project. Foundry, we stake Zen ourselves, and we also help to stake TCG Zen. And so my job was to really learn as much about it as I can and help to translate some of the more technical aspects of it into terms that maybe some of the other business people that aren't as technical could understand.
That's great. And you loved it so much, you took it a step further and became a Zen evangelist to help.
Yeah, I mean, I dove right into the community, and what a great community, incredibly intelligent, incredibly understanding, patient, as we all know, crypto is a very technical place, and you can get down lots of rabbit holes very quickly. And sometimes, it can be a little bit overwhelming, when you see how much other people know. But the beautiful thing about, this Horizen community in particular is, you dive into the Discord or the Telegram and people are patient. You ask basic questions, what seem basic to a lot of us now because we've been in the space for quite some time, but when you're starting, it can be extremely overwhelming. But, people are patient explaining things. And so I decided that, I want to take that step forward to become a Zen evangelist. I listened to the weekly calls every Monday as part of my Monday routine on Spotify, fire up the weekly calls. And so, yeah, I just decided that, I really wanted to be able to help really evangelize the project, both, within my job, obviously, but also, when speaking with friends and family, and helping to really spread the word about this great project.
That's great. And with the Zendoo having just launched, what are you most excited for about that going forward?
I mean, we're just in the beginning. It seems like, there's so much potential. So I'm just excited to see the incredible, innovative, brilliant things that the community comes up with, new entrants into the ecosystem, and really seeing what we can unlock and how we can really promote decentralization, the use of privacy preserving technology in such a way that we really help to be a force of good in the world, to bring forth some of these to bring forth some of these very, very interesting and fun new opportunities that we can unlock as a community here.
That's great. And being relatively new to the space, but it's been a big year for crypto this year. And I guess you've got a unique perspective being on the institutional side and
Mm-hmm.
working directly with big businesses and that. I'm wondering what type of trends you're seeing behind the scenes, and perhaps we don't, we're not privy to much excitement. And where do you see the future of crypto going from what you've seen?
Yeah, so there's certainly a lot more interest from we'll say less crypto native institutions. So not only the venture capital firms or hedge funds or private equity firms that maybe had an exposure to crypto prior to this recent bull run, but we're seeing interest from other more traditional technology companies, more traditional banks. As far as some of the other challenges that we're seeing behind the scenes, and I think that this is part of the discussion now, but there's a lot of attention to and concern with regulatory. What is the regulatory landscape going to look like, and how will that unfold? And so a lot of our job is really learning about that and educating our customers as much as we can about what we know, and helping them get to a point where they feel geared up with enough information to make a solid decision that they're comfortable with. We're not necessarily making any recommendations, but understanding the landscape and seeing where things are going in terms of the regulatory climate.
Thanks, Matt. You've given us plenty to think about, and it's really great to learn what you're doing behind the scenes and everything related to Foundry and the staking business that you're involved with. And I'd like to say thank you for joining us, and looking forward to seeing how things grow as we move forward.
Yeah, certainly. Very, very exciting times ahead.
Great. Thanks, Matt.
Great. Thank you.
And we're back, and it's quiz time. And I saw someone ask, what's the purpose of the quiz? So that's where you can win some Zen and also a gift voucher for the Horizen swag store. So everyone that completes the quiz will get some Zen. Those who get all the answers correct will get more Zen. And for the person that submits the first correct answers, they'll get a voucher for the Horizen swag store. So while everyone's completing the quiz for that last interview, which Erica will share in the chat, I thought now might be a good little time to have a quick live chat with Toju, who is a fairly recent Horizen member. So Toju, would you perhaps tell us a little bit about your story and background, getting into the cryptocurrency industry, and what your role is at Horizen?
Yeah, sure. So my role is as a content specialist at Horizen. I work on the marketing team. So basically responsibilities are creating articles and messaging and sort of trying to, align Horizen's mission and technology with the narratives in the crypto space and give us a story to tell that people can understand and relate to. And my background in crypto space started probably around late 2017. That's when I first got really into it. And I didn't really understand much about technology at the time, but I met up with a friend who was working on blockchain solutions in Nigeria and the African market, trying to create new products and startups around digital identity, solving problems with healthcare, and all sorts of really important issues that blockchain could solve. And that's what got me really interested in the technology. And I just kind of dove right into the industry as a writer for various different crypto publications, and learned a lot along the way. So even while it was in a bear market, I was able to really just kind of stick to it and really research and gain a good understanding of the technology, and that's kind of what got me to where I am today.
And you mentioned that when you first got started in late 2017, you didn't perhaps have much technical experience in the space. Do you have any advice for others that you can share who may not have technical experience, perhaps on where they can help add value to the crypto ecosystem?
Yeah. So, I mean, I think a lot of people assume that it's only developers that are into, crypto and can add value, but it really is a broad spectrum of people. If you have experience in marketing, business, project management, all of these type of skill sets are valuable in the crypto space, and particularly when it comes to these, crypto-based projects. So I think it's just, it just involves networking and reaching out to the right people and being able to, learn and have conversations and understanding that, yeah, it's really about more than just technology. It's also about finance, economics, and marketing, and all those skill sets are valuable in the space. So.
Great. And with such a fast-moving industry, how have you learned to keep up with it and pick up on particular trends?
I would say the best source is Twitter. Crypto Twitter is an amazing source for keeping up with information, especially when you follow people that are either founders, developers, crypto influencers, traders. You really get a sense for not only what the trending topics are, but also the particular narratives that are sort of going on in the space. And, it's a lot of real-time information that you can always learn about and stay up to date with what's happening in the space.
And what are your thoughts on Zendoo? How do you think that fits in with the current trends that you're seeing in crypto?
I think it really is a significant part of this trend towards blockchain scalability, because blockchains are becoming now a lot more used for different applications. It's no longer just about store of value or digital currency. People want to be able to build applications for gaming, NFTs, healthcare, supply chain. And so you really need a flexible infrastructure that can handle all of those different use cases while also maintaining security and decentralization. And that's what Zendoo provides. And that's why I think it's really special, because I think more than any other project, Zendoo has been able to sort of solve this scalability trilemma between decentralization, security, and scalability. And I think that balance is what makes it primed to be a top tier project and be able to outcompete all the others in the future.
And with your international background, can you share some thoughts on crypto adoption in places like Nigeria and Greater Africa?
Yeah, it's surprisingly taken off, significantly over there. I think it's one of the largest trading volumes. Nigeria has one of the largest Bitcoin trading volumes in the world, and it's primarily because of the limited access to dollars and the sort of high inflation that people deal with over there with the local currency. So people are really taken to digital currencies as a way to, escape that sort of, entrapment of their monetary policy. And the fact that so many people there have adopted mobile phones also makes it very convenient, because people are able to access these digital currencies for trading. And they're really building what I would call like a soft infrastructure there, where they can utilize these digital currencies, like I said, for trading, for banking services. And I think it's one of the things that are going to be a critical part of the evolution of these countries moving forward in the next decade.
Great. Well, thanks a lot for sharing those thoughts, Toju. And I think the Horizen team is really lucky to have you on board as part of the team.
Thanks.
And that pretty much wraps up for today or this evening, depending on your time zone. For me, it's 2:13 a.m. at the moment in Melbourne, Australia, so nice and early. And we also have one final quiz for everyone to complete. It'll be a general Horizen quiz overview. And perhaps any final thoughts from anyone? Perhaps Rob, I was hoping there'd be some bean spilling happening today on some exciting
There's no
news,
bean spilling, sorry, but it has been a pretty amazing couple of weeks of just touring in Guatemala, talking with a lot of potential partners, and then also being here in Miami this week around Art Basel. I know we have one really big announcement that we'll get out in the near future. This is the one about the was it metaverse and esports play, and I don't want to say any more because I've been reading the fun speculation in the community. I love the Markets Trading channel. You guys were awesome. But I'm not going to say anything else. It's up to Lucy and the team to do the actual announcement. But I guess thank you for everyone for joining. This was pretty amazing. Michael, everyone for putting this together, incredible, and people from calling in all over the world from 4 a.m. People joining this morning on the West Coast US to you being in Australia between 2 a.m. and everyone in between. This is pretty incredible. And you can see just the amazing people we have behind this project. And I think often when we think about crypto, we think about technology. Obviously, that's at the heart of what we do. But really, at the end of the day, it comes down to the people behind the project and behind, this entire industry that we're building. And we love the opportunity to just share who we are and, who amazing community members are. It's really cool. I love the interviews. You guys did an amazing job, and I just love hearing everyone's perspective. And again, I'm dying to find out who got the Horizen tattoo. So anyway, guys, thank you for joining, and that's all I've got.
Thanks so much, Rob. And yeah, maybe we'll just say a big farewell from everyone, unless anyone else wants to jump in and say a final message.
No final message, but I'd like to thank you, Michael, for being such a amazing Zen evangelist and community member. So thank you for hosting us today.
Thanks, Rosario. My pleasure. And there was one other question I saw people were asking: when are the winners going to be announced for the quizzes? So maybe on Monday I might go through the surveys. I think I might sleep in a bit tomorrow, and then actually I won't be able to because I've got a toddler and a 2-month-old at home, so I'm dreaming if I think I can sleep in. But yeah, might have the weekend off, and then Monday I'll send all the results to Erica, and then she'll distribute that week, I presume, the rewards to everyone that participated in the quizzes. And I'll also post the answers on the Horizen Clips Twitter account. So if you follow me on Twitter, Horizen Clips, I'll share the answers on there as well. And thank you again, everyone, for joining us. And we'll see you next time.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Have a